Okay, what's up, Ben? Can you hear me?
I hear you, sir. Can you hear me? And what's happening, partner?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear. So we tried to do this morning show thing yesterday. It failed. So today I got other things going on. I'm gonna do about an hour here. Then when we're done, I'll try to dump everyone over into Benton's stream so you can continue. If you plan to continue, I don't know.
Yeah, most likely, yes, sir.
Okay, and then can we get a mic check from the chat? Shout out to the chat. Um, I guess I want to start. I just want to go on a quick boomer tech rant. Now
Let's
we
do it.
we we grew up with this tech, right, Ben? The shit used to be easy. The shit's not easy anymore. The shit's annoying.
Preach.
I wanted or I have a HP all-in-one scanner printer, this type of fucking thing. Well, it's no longer you just press the fucking button and it does what you want it to do. You got to hook it up to the computer, to the Wi-Fi. It has like an app either on your phone or on the computer. It's controlled through a fucking app. So I haven't used this thing for maybe a year. I haven't really used it. So okay, now I don't know the login to the fucking app. So I can't do shit. I got some documents I got to scan. Can't figure out the fucking thing. It takes me forever. Figure out the email address. Now I don't know the password. Got to reset the password. Have them send the fucking thing. Confirmation code. All this. Now I got to pick a password. Oh, it can't be any of your last three passwords. It's got to have uppercase letter. It's got to have a fucking lowercase letter, number, fucking special character, and all this shit. Oh my goodness! So I finally get the fucking thing hooked up. Again, you can't just press scan. You got to go in this app and get it all. I scan one document. Bro, this shit must have took, I'm not kidding, must have took 5 minutes to scan one document. I'm scanning the second document right now, and I started a fucking stopwatch thing on my phone. I'm at 3 minutes. I used to buy a $100 fucking Epson scanner and hook it up to the computer and press the fucking button. It would scan the shit in like 30 seconds, dude. What's going on? We're in 2023. What?
Well, and the 30 seconds was because back then, whatever bus the computer used to transfer the data, that's how fast it went. In today's
Right?
technology, it should be almost instantaneous. Should be.
I can hear the scanner still going. I'm at 3.5 minutes. I can hear it behind me. Unfucking believable, man.
See,
I
I've
mean,
gotten to where I just won't do shit. If it gets to be this difficult, I just tap out, bro. I'm just like, I'm out. But, that's not always realistic.
well, this is what it is. What I'm doing is I have this, like, there's this, like, Minnesota lost, what is it called? Like, lost revenue or something you can claim. And I looked my name up on there and there was a claim for me. And so there's free money. Oh, it sounds like it's finishing up right now. Let's see. Let's see if it's done. So there's this claim for me, and all it tells you is it's under 200. Okay, it's finally done. 4 minutes and 12 seconds. Unreal for one piece of paper.
They want you to take a picture of it with your phone.
Damn, I didn't even think of that, dude.
That's why this shit don't work, brother.
I'm such a boomer. I didn't even fucking think of that, dude.
Oh, man.
Damn, dude.
Hey,
You could have just saved me like a half an hour, dude.
I'm not a phone person either, but dude, everything works on the phone for the most part. It's
Damn,
not a coincidence.
I didn't even think of that because now I got to do my driver's license front and back too. Well, that's what I'm gonna do for my driver's license. Shout out to the chat, man.
Yeah, let's Office Space that fucking all in one. Dude, get your baseball bat.
Real piece of shit, man. And what it's for is like this lost revenue. So the only thing it would tell me is it's under $250 until I signed all this shit up in the government website, Minnesota government website, and then it will tell me what it is. Well, then it was like a $200 some claim from years ago or something where I had $200 waiting for me. And I was like, I mean, okay. I was hoping it wasn't like 50 cents or something because it doesn't really tell you anything. So then now I'm doing all this work. I'm like, for $200 fucking dollars, I'd almost rather just piss it away.
Yeah.
Fucking
yeah. Or go make $250 somehow.
Exactly. Make $200 fucking dollars. I could have listed fucking. I got a bunch of shit on eBay. I could be listing, make more than fucking that.
Mm-hmm.
Driver's license. Okay,
yeah.
slave.
That's what my brain was saying. Kept pet slave the whole time. And Paul's going to win all these people over, man. If you guys keep having him over to your panels, he's going to win in the end. I see it coming. I saw
I don't
RT
know.
got out of there before he could be charmed and swayed.
I
But
think
what are we
some of the
covering?
if you
I
read
know
some of the
Drew's.
chat don't like him. Some of the commenters.
Oh, that he's got a lot of haters. There's no doubt about
Yeah.
that. I say he will win you over. He just hasn't happened yet.
Well, yesterday I went in on this damn thing called the sign spinner.
I have been.
Is this the? No, that's the stream. Let me get the right link here. Hold up. There was this crazy thing, like a thread or whatever, on Twitter yesterday. Sorry, I thought I had this shit up. Here it is. And there's all these different corporations are. Oh man, I have so many tabs open now too. This is crazy. Now it used to be. Do you remember? It used to be. If you had multiple tabs open, people were like, "Oh man, you're crazy. You have 10 tabs open."
I do remember that actually.
Now I have 3 different browsers going with like 30 tabs in each one. On my phone, it'll have like 60 tabs going and everything like that. I think that's pretty normal actually for people nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is a tad schizophrenic, I would say.
Oh yeah.
Just a
But
tad.
we learned how to do it, I think, when we were younger, so it might be a little different. Here's what I wanted to share. This is what I showed yesterday. Mr. Miyagi says that stream with Paul was a shit show for a while, yeah. But so all these big corporations now are sending these like through their app or through their email opt-outs for Mother's Day. So it's right here. It's
What?
Fry's food stores. We know Mother's and Father's Day can be sensitive time. If you'd like to opt out of these emails and push notifications, tap below. Here's another one. K Jewelers. We know Mother's Day can be challenging, which is why we want to know if you'd rather not receive Mother's Day related emails. DoorDash. We understand Mother's Day can be a difficult time for some. Click the button below to be removed from those emails. And then this on Twitter, it says this is not organic. This reeks of anti-family activists. And then there's more. People started adding more in the thread on Twitter. Etsy's doing it. If you prefer to not receive Mother's Day emails, you can opt out here. Fly by Jing. I don't even know what that is. If you'd like to mute Mother's Day, click the link below. What is this? Nespresso. With Mother's Day coming up, we understand this can be a difficult time of year. Levi's. So Mother's Day is just around the corner, and before we start bombarding you with mom-related content, we just want to check in first. The last thing we want to do is hit you with the celebratory yay mom energy that doesn't match with your vibe. So this year we're going to give you the option to opt out of Mother's Day content by clicking here. So if you don't want to see the mom jeans, Levi will let you opt out. Here's another one. Ancestry Ancestry.com. Who's ever wanted a email from Ancestry.com except for the one that you asked for, you know? What else is there for them to like spam you about? You want their service one time.
Yes, and if you ever bother to interface with them, you will get those emails for the rest of time. You can unsubscribe all you want. They're coming after you. But I will say, if you just, I think what would solve this problem, if this was even a thing, can we just have a setting, real mom or dog mom? Because right, the people who are triggered by Mother's Day, that's like the dog moms, right?
Yeah, totally. Right. Is this,
Just
do you
pick
think
one.
this is like some trans activist things or something like that?
I don't know. It's a good question. I'm unaware of this. I try not to pay attention, but I'm glad you brought this to my attention, sir. It's just another symptom. It's another symptom of the societal, the disease, right? The rotting core of, the collapse of society, as I like to call it. Full doomer, baby.
Hater Dave has a great comment here, but you can't mute Pride Month.
Bro.
Those emails are coming to you regardless.
Indeed.
So that's what I was saying yesterday when I talked about this just for a little bit. I said that this is, to me, this is what the real nuclear war is the war against the nuclear family. And here it continues. I mean, look at how many more are on this thing here. There's You can just keep scrolling down. Mac, the cosmetics, Mac cosmetics. And what's crazy is they're almost all worded the exact same. Pretty much. We understand Mother's Day can be a difficult time. What does that mean? So if something's difficult, you're just supposed to avoid it or something. We're going to help you make a safe space for you because something's difficult.
Well, and I do think this ties in with something that's bothered me much of my life is I would, encourage people just because society programs you to behave a certain way because it's a certain day of the calendar month every year. I think that's a mistake, or it can be, to play into that. How about, if you want to honor your mother, why does that have to be one day out of the calendar? I never understood that personally.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
But I think that's really where the stress and pressure comes in is we must conform to society, right? It's like everybody else is doing things. They're buying flowers for their mothers on this one day. And then we all get to go back to the 364 days where many people hate their mom's guts and just completely ignore them. So maybe this is just giving the people what they want. And I'm just spitballing here, but and back to the destruction of the nuclear family, I'd say it's mostly been destroyed, although we see people like you, that are continuing to live that way.
I think, culturally it's been, destroyed. Elon Musk seems to be the only one I see trying to bring it back, and Trump as cultural figures that talk about it. I know Trump was saying something about, recommending some type of like baby bonus or something. That's what he's on one of his running on the new platform, or his new, like, for his new campaign or whatever. And Elon Musk himself has like 6 kids. Says there's not enough kids, but both of those guys are all about like manufacturing and, I would assume, child labor, right? Trump wants to start these freedom cities where there's no industry regulations and everything like that. Which at this point, Ben, is I'd rather have these kids working than sitting in a damn public school all day.
Yeah, absolutely. And, one thing that, as far as me going to public school, I look back and realize that, part of the indoctrination is, and part of the corporate side of it is, everybody gets put into the same box. After they taught me to read, reading, writing, and arithmetic, I learned absolutely nothing in the school system. They taught me nothing. I'm not even joking. So it was a complete and total waste of time for me to actually go to a building and sit in a desk for all those years. Now, socially, it was very rewarding in many ways, but I agree, man. And why are we not teaching these kids based on learning style? I don't learn by a teacher telling me things. It's a waste of time.
They got all the rainbow programming at the schools or whatever. I'm gonna pull up this other link. That's what seems to me that this anti-mother thing, it's got to be from the Rainbow Army, right? I would think they can't create their own members, so they have to recruit members. So the only one that can create it, right, is a mother. So is that why that would be a big enemy of that group?
But I do think there's a lot of, as we know, there is a lot of stress and pressure around any holiday, really. If you look at Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, it's just not just Mother's Day. I would say it's effectively all holidays.
Sorry,
what do we? No, you're all good. I was a little distracted there for a moment, but yeah.
Saw them hot bods. He said, "Oh shit!" No, this was high school. Who knows if this is even true? Oh, whoops! I just lost it. This says this is high school fitness in 1952. So right after the war, boys' high school fitness.
Well, see, and those look like adults to me. That's the thing is, like, I think that shows you how people have been infantilized in a lot of ways. This is like if a 30-year-old's in shape. Look at this. This can't be grown. That's grown people. That's like Navy SEALs or something. I don't think that's underage people.
Here, let's listen to the volume of it. It's got, again, who knows if this is even true.
Exercise on the grip swing puts muscles on the least athletic. Extension push-ups are among the toughest of the drills. As an incentive to excel, the color of the shorts the boys wear is determined by their ratings on performance charts. Some requirements for top ratings are stricter than for Annapolis plebes. A lad
That guy looked like he had a bald head, didn't he? Hold on.
No, this is the military. They call them the boys back then. This is not actual like school
This
kids.
isn't high school?
than for
No.
Annapolis plebes. A lad who has mastered the pegboard will find
Annapolis
the military obstacle
plebe.
course a snap.
See, he's saying, though, if you master this pegboard, it says a military obstacle course will be a snap.
He said
200 schools
Annapolis
across the
plebes. Annapolis
What?
is a military academy. Annapolis
have
plebes.
adopted
Oh, okay.
Yeah, these
Sierra's
are college
program
students.
of 15-minute daily.
Still, though, imagine any people being able to do this other than some like gym bros or something nowadays.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm agreeing with you.
In the
Absolutely.
oh, excuse me, the thing too that caught me on that one was them saying that they would categorize they'd wear different color shorts based on their like level of fitness. You'd never see that today. Everything's got to be equal. There can't be people that are better than other people.
Well, and that's where this intersectionality comes in, and this idea of, if I'm physically fit, and then, it's implied that, one of these, chubby kids is obviously not physically fit. My level of physical fitness, if it is allowed to express in a certain way, that's actually harming the fatso. I mean, that's how this works psychologically.
And that's that's what's led it from this video here till today is lowest common denominator type thing that every kid gets a reward or whatever, get a participation trophy.
And they did that when I was when I played baseball in 1982 or 83 or whatever it was, but nobody cared. Like, you know what I'm saying? They passed them out to everybody and we were like, okay, thanks. Great. This is nobody gives a shit. So I think that's kind of the lesson of participation trophies is like, it has no value because, the level of what it takes to receive one is so low that nobody considers it an achievement, if that makes sense. Whereas me, I should have been the MVP when I was playing the little kid baseball. And I still to this day am somewhat hurt that they gave it to the kid who could, he could hit the long ball, right? He could hit them like home runs, but I was the better overall player. And the people couldn't recognize it. I don't care about the participation trophy. I care that I don't have my MVP trophy, damn it.
Things Benton can do.
Hashtag things
Benton can do. Look at these. I just keep scrolling on these mother ones. The opt-outs of the Mother's Day. A lot of these companies I've never heard of though, but where do they get the signal to do this? It's got to be some kind of activist emailing all these every single corporation saying like, oh, it's traumatic. Your emails are traumatic.
It's communism, bro. We have covert. It's full communism. That's what this is. They're putting out the messages. This is what you will conform to if you want to be a member of the party in good standing. If you want to be able to have the credit rating in the future, the social credit score, if it does go central bank digital currency, if you want to be blessed into all of these systems of the future, you will conform to this. That's what I believe it is, among other things.
And back in the day, they warned about communism. Everyone's fight the commies and everything. And so how did the communists sneak in so low under the radar that I think it had to be part of it had to be that they were just so long. The plan was so long term. You know what I mean?
Well, and then I always go back to the McCarthyism. I believe that was in the 50s, the Red Scare. And so because of that, we were not allowed to accuse any American of being a communist after that. It was verboten. And that's why so many people have been accused of, oh, he's a socialist. No, he's a communist. But because of McCarthyism, we're not allowed to call him a commie anymore. I think a lot of people aren't aware of those dynamics that still exist to some extent.
I agree. Full commie takeover.
Yep. Good shout out.
What did you guys? I saw you and Illumitami talked about the Tucker thing yesterday. What conclusions did you come to? I didn't really watch the stream. I
don't know that we came to any conclusions. I don't agree with Tommy on a lot of things. So for me, I just sort of let him go off wherever he goes, and then if I need to rebut, I'll usually do that on my own somewhere else. But He said a bunch of things. I was reading the chat, so I'm not even really sure what he was saying, to be honest with you.
Okay, well let's transition into that Tucker and Don Lemon. We're 20 minutes in. Good morning, everyone. We're gonna try to do this. I think for me, I could definitely do this 1 or 2 hours, like Monday through Thursday for sure, maybe even Friday.
I'd love it, man. It'd be great. Yeah.
And then if you keep streaming, I have that ability to like push everyone into your stream at the end or whatever. As long as you have the stream like set up.
Yeah, it's set up right on.
Yeah. So let me play this AOC clip, and it's only 1 minute long, but it's talking about Tucker, and then we'll kind of get into it, I guess.
Tucker Carlson is out at Fox News. Couldn't have happened to a better guy. What I will say, though, is while I'm very glad that the person that was arguably responsible for some of the largest, driving some of the most amounts of death threats and violent threats, not just to my office, but to plenty of people across the country, I also kind of feel like I'm like waiting for the cutscene at the end of a Marvel movie after all the credits have rolled. And then you see like the villain's like hand reemerge out to grip over like the end of a building or something. But deplatforming works, and it is important. And there you go. Good things can happen. Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, deplatforming, more communism.
Deplatforming works, yeah.
More communism.
Now you can see AOC here, why they recruited her. She's young, she's pretty, she's able
I find
to
her very attractive. Sorry,
she's able to do these like, TikTok style videos and stuff like that. And I can see why the youth would relate to that. This is a successful marketing for their branding, communism branding. So I've talked about this for a while. I do believe the future of politics, instead of old white men and everything, you are going to see it get younger and younger, especially like with the success of AOC. AOC, why do you think they call this woman AOC? In the chat says the three initial thing is reserved for presidents. It's linguistics priming. They've been priming people for her to become president. I mean, who knows? AOC, agent of chaos.
That too. And as I would like to stress to the so-called truth community, it can be many things simultaneously, not just one thing. Right. So that could definitely be part of it, or not.
So yeah, she's just up here bragging about deplatforming of Tucker. Yeah, top comment here says fascists usually celebrate the silencing of the opposition voices. And also yesterday, Don Lemon got whacked at the exact same time. I was wondering what kind of like psyop that is, because it was released almost simultaneously. Don Lemon gone from CNN, and then Tucker gone from Fox News.
Yeah, that was interesting. I thought the timing, there has to be something to that, since I do not believe in coincidences. So what that timing is, I'm not sure. We know Lemon's been on his way out for quite a while, but yeah, not sure on that.
And Tucker was the number one. Yeah, Tucker was always had the number one show. I saw the tweet yesterday said he has 3.303 million watchers. Get all the threes, but
well, O'Reilly was big too before that, lest we forget.
Yeah, they don't really talk about that O'Reilly anymore, do they?
Mm-mm.
He was big, but what's the play here? Because you got the Dominion voting scandal or whatever, where the Fox News had to pay out all this money to Dominion voting. Was it just last week, I think? And then shortly after that, you got Tucker getting fired. They're trying to paint a narrative there, or what? What do you think?
Well, I'm going to have to get back into the news cycle because
well, that's what we'll do here for this show.
That's great. Yeah, I'll get back into the news. I'm historically a news junkie, going way back. I was a little kid reading the newspaper every day. So yeah, I'll get back into it. But as of right now, I'm not really sure.
I think it relates to what EBT and I talk about. Well, I should say what mostly EBT talks about a lot is that illuminated, what is it, Sons of the Illuminated Golden Dawn or whatever.
Yeah, the OTO
Where
or whatever that is.
Where
Yeah.
there's like all those protocols of how they want to deconstruct the media and get the people's trust to the media all the way down to zero, basically. And here you have that card being played on both sides of the aisle. So if you're on the right or left, one of your favorite pundits is gone. On just they had the rug pulled out on them too. It wasn't like they really, did something and deserved to be fired. It was both kind of blindsided firings.
Well, and from what little I know of all the Dominion stuff, as far as the people who believe that they are right wing and traditional values, that seems to, it's more evidence that I think a lot of people just assume that, well, if Tucker's up there doing what's just and right, and if this Dominion thing, was really evil and they're, rigging the voting, then of course, the system at some point will set everything right, because people do, I think, still believe in the system for the most part, in America, and all of these, ideas that have been programmed into many people. And this is, to me, it's a further schism. What we're seeing is that not only is the system not setting things right, he's actually being punished, according to the official narratives anyway. As we all know, it's not, things are never as they seem. But that's the way I would interpret that. How is people's psychology going to stay healthy and their mental health going to stay healthy when they simultaneously believe in the system and that it is going to serve what's just and right? And then we got Tucker, he's out on his ass for supposedly doing what's just and right. But then he's also being persecuted, arguably. But please, go ahead.
I think it's to tear down the system. I feel like they want to just install an entirely new system with it. I feel like that's a big part of the Trump play, is to get.
See, I think
like he's not even really Republican. I mean, he is, but it's also like the Republicans are also against him. So they're trying to kind of get these Republicans, I think, that would cling on to these older traditional values and belief in the Constitution and everything. And then be like, yeah, well, things are just so far gone now that we need a new Constitution, especially with the AI and everything like that coming in. There's just going to be so many new things. They're going to champion a new Constitution, new founding fathers and everything like that. That's where I feel like it's going. But my predictions are always wrong. So,
well, I'm not very good at the predictions either, but I would say that, based on what you're saying with this so-called new system, my assertion is that new system is here. It's been operating, but it's covert. So when you talk about moving to the new system, to me, that's merely the covert, it going from covert to overt, where everybody's just like, yeah, this, of course, now it's more or less Chinese style, social credit score and communism and the whole thing. Whereas right now we more or less have versions of that, in my view, but it's all covert. But it's debatable, obviously. These are merely my views.
Oh, I agree with that. Well, you want to dig into some of these links here? We're almost a half hour in already. Dang.
Awesome. Yeah, I can, wherever you want to take it, brother.
I like to go here still. I don't know why. I guess I'm old habits die hard. I like to go to this Godlike Productions. It's like a link aggregate site. It's a forum. People just
I used to be a forum guy, so I
post whatever, So it looks like, Biden says he will run again. If he makes it, he's going to run again 2024. Let's see his little 3 minutes. I'm not playing the whole thing, but let's.
Freedom, personal freedom is
See how many different Joe Bidens you can see during this one video here.
Fundamental to who we are as Americans.
There's nothing more important, nothing more sacred.
That's been the work of my first term, to fight for our democracy.
This shouldn't be a red or blue issue.
So,
to protect our rights.
I'll just turn it off, the volume. We can talk about it while it's playing. So he says he's going to run again if he makes it. I did watch this thing. I've been meaning to cover this AI video that's going around on my main channel. It's a pretty popular video right now about AI, TED Talk type video. And in that video, these AI experts say that 2024 will be the last year that there's like a traditional presidential election or something like that, because they're saying like that these campaigns that run these elections and stuff already have such advanced AIs to create the taglines they need and and predict the polling and everything like that, and that it's just going to exponentially keep growing. That they're saying by after this next election, there will be a totally different type of thing even in place, because it's almost like the looking, if you've ever looked into these conspiracies or something they call like looking glass technology. Basically, who knows if it's real, but it's the idea of it's like an AI that's able to predict, 95% or whatever in the future. If you plug this parameters in, if I do this, what's going to happen? So it'll be able to tell you if you'll be successful or not. So I think what they're saying is that it'll become like a battle of AIs or something after this presidential election. But you can see right here, even in this ad, everything, what do they call that? Everything's like market tested or whatever.
Yes, market research. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get them with the women, get them with the minorities, get them with the working man here, get pictures of them with, touch every single base that you can touch here. Black women, black kid. He's got the Kamala running with them. So are they going to do Biden versus Trump, the sequel? I can't see this guy making it, man. He's just so old.
Well, apparently it was yesterday or today it was announced, Biden announced officially that he's running again. And I am a bit of a wonk, is what it's known as, although that's not necessarily true anymore. But I do enjoy the sport of politics. And based on what I see, again, just like you have no ability to predict politics, but I don't see any way that it's not a Democrat second term. That's just merely my opinion.
What do you think what do you base that on? Do you think it's, I'm saying, I get what you're saying, that it's not real, right? That you're just saying.
Well, I base it on history, and that historically it's rare for one party to hold the presidency for only one term. It's a rare thing. And people are like, oh, George Herbert Walker Bush. I'm like, yeah, but that was coming off of a 2-term Reagan, same party. So you had Carter, that was a one-party term, and then Trump. It doesn't happen that often. It's almost always same party with 2 terms minimum. So that's, until the pattern breaks, that's what I go by. Same thing with the idea of no more presidential elections. Well, okay, I'll believe it when I see it. Right. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen, right? That doesn't mean Trump's not going to win. That doesn't mean the Republicans won't, retake the White House. These are merely my views, right?
We'll see, I guess. Here's another story. Sudan. See, I'm not.
No, I don't do geopolitics at all, so I have no idea.
I used to be all into this too. Now I'm out of it. But there was some story in the news I saw the other day. It was called like Escape from Khartoum, it's like some country.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that place. Yeah,
to do with this Sudan or something. But now here's this World Health Organization: huge biological risk after Sudan fighters occupy lab. So they're prepping you for they always just prep you and have you on edge that there's going to be some doom, I feel like.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, and I'm just tapped out, me personally. So,
yeah,
but I can
fighters in conflict region Sudan have occupied National Public Laboratory, holding samples of diseases, including polio and measles. Fighters kicked out all the technicians from the lab. Blah, blah, blah. It's another one. You scared of biological attack? That's in the news today. Here's another. Who's Leah Thomas?
That's that swimmer.
Oh, okay.
The gigantic shouldered swimmer.
Okay, so there is an article going around that says she wanted to transition back to man, but now this debunker says that that's not true. There was this going around, though, that it said it felt guilt for changing its gender. Dang, look at this thing.
Bro, that thing has broader shoulders than LeBron, I guarantee you. I don't think you people realize how big this thing is in real life. Go ahead.
To be named Division I NCAA champion.
God.
I started swimming when I was 5 years old. And it has taught me so much. It has given me so many opportunities to learn, grow, develop, and connect with my peers. Opportunities that I wouldn't have gotten if I didn't have access to athletics. That's why it breaks my heart to see trans kids across the country lose out on these opportunities. The Department of Education has proposed a new rule for Title IX regarding transgender athletes. This rule would prohibit blanket bans on transgender kids, especially in grades K through 8. However, it would not prohibit discrimination against trans kids in the high school and college levels under the guise of competitive fairness. This rule is a good start. However, it is not enough. During this,
I can't look at this thing anymore. I'm sorry.
Well, and I agree. And one of my big fields of study has been, the satanic ritual abuse, the MK Ultra. That's a mind control victim. I think we know for a fact, or at least I do, and maybe not for a fact, but how could it not be? I mean, that thing's got to have a handler and be under mind control. I mean, how has to be. I don't see any other way.
I just don't get the whole play behind this whole having this thing be so mainstream like this.
Well, and how quickly people have the rapidity of the uptake. It's not.
Yeah, I wondered almost if it has anything to do with like the phone. Do they emit like a beam to the phone? Because every single person has a phone. So if it's not in the water or food, which it might be too, all those different chemicals in the food and the water, but maybe also something to do with the phone. Because it's just way too not even just normalized through the media, which it is, but it's just accept people just fall in line to something so extreme. It's not like even the mask was pretty bad, but at least that was under the disguise of like you're actually helping people and stuff like that, where you could get these people to feel like they're morally superior. I can see why they would fall for the mask and everything, but this reversal stuff, I just don't get it. I think part of it is that if they can get you to believe, in that a man can be a man one day, wake up the next day and be a woman. I think if they get you to believe that, they can get you to believe anything.
Yeah, among other things. We have similar views with respect to this stuff.
Yeah, you're just completely malleable at will at that point.
Well, and they hate God. I don't mean the trans people. I mean all of these people. They hate God. I don't think there's any question
and that's
about
why
that.
they're harming their body, their temple, and everything. They're like chopping it up and everything. They're that's what it seems like to me too. Is when you see them, they're like carbon cutouts of each other. There's one that lives down the block from me. It's got that almost like Down syndrome. The one by me, I believe, is a woman. I'm not even 100% sure on that, but I believe it's a woman. But it kind of looks like a man. It's got the short hair. It's got the Down syndrome kind of look, and it's got the like kind of the soft marshmallowy body and everything like that. And they all look the same, man. It's like the satanic uniform. Yeah, American Bald Guy says mental illness is celebrated. Oh, look at Denise says my twin is a therapist. They're all on board. Yeah, the therapists are some of the craziest ones.
They have to be. Again, they have to behave in specific ways to be accepted in their communities. That's how it works. It's no longer, when I was younger, it was like, hey, don't do this list of things. It was a prohibition versus now it's you must behave in specific ways or you're not in the club, that's what we mean about, it's not enough to be just don't hurt people based on their race. Now you must be anti-racist, which is an affirmation through your speech and your actions. And I don't think a lot of people have realized that flip. At some point it flipped. By the way, I just refuse to live in that world, is for me personally.
I clicked an article that said Bill Gates is now, and it says Bill Gates and World Health Organization will now teach sex to children under 10. It brought me to this link, so I'm not 100% sure what this is going to be. But let me play this says 2 minutes, so I'll play at least the first minute. And while I'm doing this, Ben, I'm going to set it up so that everyone gets dumped in yours when we're done. We're almost 40 minutes in. So
all right.
Give me a second here. You might hear some clicking and stuff.
The Washington State Senate just passed Senate Bill 5599, allowing the state to hide children from their parents. No allegation of abuse is required. just the child's delusional desire to change the gender of their own body. The bill compels state-licensed youth shelters to act as accomplices in castrating children without their parents' knowledge, and allocates over $7 million to pay for the surgical and pharmaceutical castrations. According to this new law, if a child shows up at a youth shelter in Washington state and expresses the desire to change the gender of their body, claiming that their parents are against it, then the youth shelter is legally obligated to not notify the parents of the child's location, but rather to funnel that child into the destructive and horrific world of transgenderism, paid for by the state of Washington with taxpayer dollars. And it's not limited to Washington residences. Any young, confused, runaway child can now make their way to Washington to get castrated by the government without their parents ever being notified. The agenda to destroy Christian culture and the family was further demonstrated last month when scores of UN judges published the 8 March Principles for a Human Rights-Based Approach to Criminal Law Proscribing Conduct Associated with Sex,
Can you pause
Reproduction, Drug Use, HIV.
See, that there's that word, proscribe. That's what I'm talking about. The switch from prohibit to proscribe. But please continue.
Homelessness, and poverty. The document states that these principles should be of immediate relevance to legislators, judges, and prosecutors at all levels. These principles include the right to abortion and transgender surgeries. They recommend the legalization of prostitution and all drug use. But the real offense is buried at the end of Principle 16, consensual sexual conduct, where it states that sexual conduct.
That's the end of the video, but oh man. What happened to we just want to get married?
Well, and as we know, and then Adam Carolla talked about this for years. It's right there in the title, the progressive movement. It progresses and moves. It never gets what it says it wants and then stops. You know, you look at feminism. It was reasonable, arguably, in the beginning, but they didn't get what they were asking for and say, okay, girls, mission accomplished. Everybody just as you were, let's go home now. It's still going, right? None of this is ever going to stop. It's just going to keep going and keep going and keep going. It's evil. It's a march into just a headlong march into just evil being more on display out in the open. Ultimately, that's the way I see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at this one. Reverso teen died from vaginoplasty complications during landmark Dutch study. So it said he tried to use part of his colon to create a vagina.
Well,
where the hell are we at, man?
Like Nazi.
What's going on?
It's like Nazi human experiments, right? But by the way, Drew, this is why I get a little frustrated with people, because it's okay if people want to call me a doomer. My thing is, this is where the delusion and the denial comes in. Is my thing is, how can you people see this and not be a doomer? I don't get it. Not you, Drew, and not necessarily the audience, just, the larger so-called truth community. I don't understand. Please help me to understand. It has to be delusion. What else could it be? Or just a denial? Like, oh, this is not, this is not happening. This is not happening. No, it's happening.
It says his colon was used because puberty blockers stopped growth of his genitals, which meant there wasn't enough tissue to do the penile inversion surgery. It's just a full revolt
rectum.
against God.
Rectum damn near killed him. Did kill him.
Oh my God.
Not funny, man, but what else are you going to do but laugh? I mean, it's like laugh or cry. I mean, good Lord.
Once again, after this harrowing account of a young person's needless death, researchers assure the reader that the vaginal reconstruction has a positive influence on the quality of non-transgender and transgender women. What in the hell?
Penile inversion vaginoplasty is the full name of vaginoplasty.
Why is it? Hang on, stop it. When you guys, because I've done a lot of research, especially because of the fake pandemic, I said one of the words. My bad. I forget. I'm not only on my channel.
It's all
Why
good.
don't so many of these people are not native English speakers? Listen to this guy did not have English as a first language. This guy ain't from here, y'all. But he's gonna come on here and tell us what to do. Please continue.
He's talking about vaginoplasty.
Vaginoplasty is the full name of vaginoplasty. In this procedure, the surgical team is creating the outer and the inner vagina. The reason it's called penile inversion vaginoplasty because we use the penile skin and the scrotal skin in order to.
It says Boston's Children's Hospital on the bottom of this thing. This is like, man.
Reconstruct the vagina. By doing so, we break it down to all of its components, and we use some of the tissue to reconstruct things the way they were supposed to be for that patient.
What
It's
the
a
hell,
children's
man?
hospital. Yeah, and I'm wasting away to nothing here from various illnesses, but I still feel like I could reach out and I still have my grip strength, so I feel like I could just sort of just one of them.
Squeeze,
I think I
pop his
could.
head.
I think I could. Yeah, I feel like now. I'm not saying that should happen. I'm not saying I would do that. I feel like I could do that. Yes.
Vaginoplasty. How long before it's a 3D printed vagina? Like, seriously.
Well, and Drew, you've got stuff to live for. Like, I really don't. This is, if anybody's wondering why I almost drank myself to death not that long ago, this is part of the reason. Just so we're clear.
Now they have this thing. What made me think that is I just saw this video yesterday too. There's this new Wilson basketball that's 3D printed and airless. So you might see this transition into the NBA, and I could see it being used as a technology, magnet rims, and all that stuff. They might bring a new basketball in, but if they can create a basketball with no air, and they say the physics of it and everything is 100% identical to a real basketball, which I don't know if that's true or not. That's what they claim. How long before they could create
Interesting fact. Basketballs soon
like a 3D printed vagina? And then you're literally a cyborg at that point, right?
Well, and by the way, just eventually the gray aliens or whatever,
Yeah, that's where it seems like it's going, right?
I mean, yeah, if that's what's happening with the genitals, then how long until it's just like that would be considered. It's almost like uncouth or like uncivilized to still even be having genitals at all.
When you're on the road, you'll be
you
glad.
Still got genitals? Like, look at this barbarian with his genitals. With their genitals. Sorry.
Yeah, I could totally
whatever the
see
pronouns
that.
are.
I mean, and they could engineer you to eat less food and everything if that, like a little gray alien, right? Said, well, there's not enough food in the world now. We got to engineer you so you don't need to. You only eat once a week or something. But this was the thing they created some. I forget all the terms. It's all 3D printed, all those holes in it and everything like that. But these people claim this handles exactly like a regular basketball. I don't know how that could be true, but
well, give me one. I'll tell you.
I'm sure they're only $500. They sell them. Let's look it up.
Yeah, this was my thing as a youth. I played a lot of basketball.
I guess it's just prototypes or what? It's just prototypes now.
Yeah, I don't think it's available yet.
Yeah, it's definitely not $50. That's not it.
No.
For real 3D printed. Yes, you can't buy it, I guess. Wait, it says it would be $200 to $250. The same.
I'm assuming that's. Sorry, if they mass produced them, I'm assuming that's what they mean.
That's just the estimate of what they'd be.
Yeah,
but it's not out there though. Crazy. So not even a basketball.
That's probably a boy. Look at that thing. I bet that's a boy.
I was kind of thinking that too. This is actually the video I watched before. I was kind of thinking that same thing. They show how long before these 3D printers are in everyone's house as well, just like a regular printer became a commonplace thing. Well, now 20 years later, you can't even get the printer to damn work. But eventually these are going to be in people's houses.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Consumer version of this
Some
stuff.
percentage of the population has them already, as small as it might be.
I mean, what was wrong with the basketball that they had to?
I don't know, man.
It's just the innovation just for the sake of innovation. That's what that machine lies guy was talking about. American Ball guy said a regular basketball costs $200, like the regulation of official NBA one.
Yeah, yeah. If you wanted to buy that quality of a ball, probably.
We're gonna wait for the 3D printed vaginas, and then it's over. Fleshlight was predicted programming. Oh, Klaus Schwab wants a 3D printer in your home, I guess. Too much for me, man. Let me go back to this. Let's see what else we got on the docket, the schizo docket today.
Schizo, I like it. I'm making a note of that. The schizo docket.
Stay safe warning as rare disease is spreading in the UK. Lyme disease. Oh, that must be rare over there.
Yeah, I've been bitten by so many ticks in my life. I have to have like 12 different Lyme diseases. How could I not?
Here's somebody that predicted. Oh, Alex Jones predicted on March 8th.
Sure.
That Tucker Carlson would leave.
Well, he's your government agent, info/disinfo agent. Why wouldn't he?
Exactly. It'd be interesting to see the play Tucker makes next if he goes. Does he go to InfoWars or does he create his own network or what? Let's see what Bill Hicks said here.
He gets what's going on. He's not going back. He believes in the people. And so I predict he won't be at Fox News in the near future if he's unable to put this out. I'm going to leave it at that. But that's speaking from my perspective. I'm not speaking for Tucker. Now, Cheryl Atkinson from her sources says that there was a fight and they're trying to block the release. Steve Bannon says Murdoch shut down Tucker. They can basically see the same information with some of the same sources I have.
To me, this all has to be leading up to some kind of like a major. Like Tucker brought the. I gotta watch what I say here. The jab concerns mainstream, and then he had that big investigative report into the shooting at the Capitol and how it was government agents on that January 6th and everything like that. That kind of were the instigators and everything like that. So, and I understand it's all like, it's all of it is government propaganda, but he's kind of at the forefront of the cutting edge of it, Tucker, at least as seen by the believers of it. So to me, it would free him from Fox News would be to have him be at the release of something that's coming up. And then he's a trustworthy guy that people would believe it. And if there's some story they want to bring out, against the Democrats or whatever, you could have him release it on his own platform or YouTube or wherever, and people would just believe it. Where if it was Alex Jones, there's so much malarkey tied to his people.
Yes.
Even if it was true, people still wouldn't believe it.
Yeah, I agree. It's sort of, there's a certain amount of ridicule automatically attached to the message because of who the messenger is. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Now, your stream coming up here is called what?
Well, that was it's
with the little cartoon avatar guy.
Yeah, that's your thumbnail, right?
Yeah.
The
Chibi Unabomber.
Indeed. Yeah.
Chibi Bomber.
Now it's up to you as far as if you want to send everybody over there, because since we started early, I need to like eat and do a few things. I can definitely go live right now, but if we don't do that today, I wouldn't be too sad. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, we got to push them in, man. You got to train the audience.
Let's do it. Well, do I need to go live first? Is the question. I'm not live yet. So
I think you need to go live, and then as soon as I end, if I did this right, and I think I did, everyone that's in here now, 87 people will just get dumped into yours to continue it.
All right, hang on. Let me go live then.
And hopefully we can do this on a regular basis, we can both get caught up on the current events and stuff, because I haven't really been following it much either.
All right, I'm
last
live.
few years.
Yeah, whenever you want to go. Yeah, definitely. I'll brush back up for sure on the.
So you're live now?
Yes, sir. Anytime.
All right, I'm going to press the end button, and it's going to dump everyone to you, I believe. So we'll see if I did it right. All right, peace out. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Do it again tomorrow.
Indeed, it's been a pleasure.
All right, peace.